Krista, what are they talking about with Kyle Busch?
Well, I think they're going to be okay, like you said, but how important is this field strategy game? Well, Doug George, the crew chief for this truck, how did he spend his Sunday? From 8:30 a.m. all the way till noon. He ran the numbers and then reran them and then reran them again. 3.5 hours of homework. Right now, Kyle's saying his truck is just getting a little bit tight in the center.
We need to buy him a calculator.
We need to, yeah, I think that was longhand, or maybe used a slide rule or something. That's a lot of time to spend on those numbers.
Yeah. But I guess if you want to use, well, you got to run all the scenarios.
Sometimes you run your numbers and you look at them and you just think, that can't be right.
And you do it again.
Do it again.
I don't have to run those again.
Green flag about to come back out. It is Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, 1 and 2. Ron Hornaday, fresher tires back there in third. The battle has begun. Harvick looks to the inside early. Kyle Busch holding him off through 1 and 2.
Crash into one. Big crash for TJ Bell.
Problems for the 11. Look at the damage to the back and front of that truck.
Ty Bodine got down on the inside of TJ, and TJ just kept coming over and over, trying to hold Ty Bodine off, and Todd wasn't having any of it. I don't think TJ's too happy.
Both ends of that Red Horse Racing Toyota. Here's Todd. Go up through the gears, gets down to the inside, and just TJ was kind of moving his way over there, and Todd made contact just about before it was even time to get on the brakes.
That was a big crash here at Martinsville. You don't tear one up much worse than that here.
Slammed into the inside wall and then kicked it back out to the outside wall, and you see frustration. There's TJ Bell climbs out of his Red Horse Racing number 11.
That's the second truck we've seen make contact with the inside wall. Remember, Colin Brown early in the race made contact with the inside wall just about the same place that TJ did.
You know, you start cutting people off early in the race and you get by with it sometimes. But as it winds down, you get within 40 laps like we are now, you're not going to have a whole lot of patience, because track position is so important and it's so tough to pass. Todd made a great restart, got on the inside of TJ, and decided he was going to stay there.
So TJ's all right. He'll have to climb into the ambulance.
He came into this race 8th in points. He's had a great start to the 2009 season. 3 top 12 finishes so far.
He's going to climb into the ambulance now, but not happy at all with the 30 of Todd Bodine. We can go either direction.
Okay.
Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick, 1 and 2. They talked about fuel being an issue early on. As we've continued to run these caution laps, they're starting to throw that out the window.
Yeah, we've been eavesdropping on Kevin Harvick's radio communication, and they think they're in pretty good shape right now. They're not sure about the 51.
As we close in on the final 10 laps.
Maybe 10 to go at the stripe.
You think Kyle Busch is thinking, okay, when are you going to hit me? I
think it's in the back of his mind.
There's contact there. He moves to the inside. They go down the front stretch. Kevin Harvick's got the bumper to the inside of that 51.
Kyle's going to give him room again. Not a whole lot of room, but some room.
Enough this time. Harvick got his nose out in front. That means when he gets down to turns 3 and 4, can he nose ahead, slide up the hill a little bit?
Here comes the 33. Kevin Harvick trying to get by that 51. Harvick is going to lead that lap as they go across the start-finish line and into one. 9 laps of racing to go.
Kyle got a little bit loose off of 4, never backed off. It looks like Kevin's got him cleared. Oh, contact.
Little contact between the 51 and the 33, and now smoke coming out of the back of the 51. A little bit of sheet metal contact with the tires.
Yeah, that's when Kevin got into the back of him just a little bit, and I think that's caused that tire to rub.
I think Busch's goose is cooked. I think that rub, and with Hornaday all over the back of him.
And oh, the caution comes out. The 48, the 84 get turned around. Well, all eyes are on the 2 and 51 now. 51 drops back to second. Krista.
Where's the 51 out of gas?
No, actually, you saw on the front stretch, he laid back a little bit so the team could check the left rear damage, the tire smoke there coming from a tire rub, and they just told him, Kyle, we have the binoculars out. As you saw there on the pit box, you have cords showing.
I believe he went over the commitment line.
Commitment line on the backstretch.
I think he was too.
He's trying to scrub the wall maybe with that fender to squish it in, but I think he went over the white line. You can't cross that white line.
And not go onto pit road. He had all 4 tires on the commitment line and then went back out on the racetrack.
Yeah, I think that may result in a penalty from NASCAR.
Yeah, you got to come to pit road once you cross the commitment line. That white line is the commitment line. The yellow one is the speed line.
Right. And he's going to plead his case that he had no intentions of coming to pit road. He was just trying to get that quarter panel up off the fender. We'll see if he wins that argument or not.
We're hearing from NASCAR, commitment line violation for the 51 truck. Violation.
Yeah, he needs to get to pit road right away.
Can't drag the side of my truck on the side of the wall.
That's his argument.
But the rule's a rule. The line's there.
He needed to get away from the wall and not go across that line.
He could have done that on the front stretch and there'd been no penalty.
What he needs to do now is get to pit road, get some left side tires. He's going to be in the back. I'd get some tires right quick.
Absolutely, Bill. Yeah. You never know how many positions you may gain here on this little shootout we're going to have.
Yeah, give me 4 tires.
We got to go to the back or not, Jeff? Yes. We're coming this time.
They're going to come in, pull the fender away.
On it. Come on.
Yeah, put 4 on it. That's the call.
Doug George making the call there for Kyle Busch. So it will not be 3 in a row for Kyle Busch in 2009 in the Camping World Truck Series, as he will make his way onto pit road. Kevin Harvick now looking for another win in the Camping World Truck Series.
Got his teammate behind him.
Great run for Mike Skinner in 3rd as well.
Yeah, this will be the first time, if Kevin Harvick's able to hold on, this is the first time he's ever won a truck race outside of the state of Arizona and the city of Phoenix. Chris Devoto.
Kyle Busch coming in. They just made the call. It's now going to be just a 2-tire stop, left sides only. Kyle Busch extremely frustrated, extremely angry on the radio. Left sides only, because this thing is about to go green.
They had plenty of time to put 4 tires on, because he's got to go to the back.
Well, they also had to worry about clearing that left rear quarter panel from the tire too, so they didn't really know how much time that was going to take.
Yeah.
And now they're waving off the green, so Kyle may come right back in to put right side tires on. Krista?
That is exactly right. They just said come back in, we're going to put on right sides, and the quote was, we're not going to give this to him.
Well, there you go.
What? I don't understand.
I'm not sure who they're not going to give it to, because they're going to start in the back, and I don't know if they'll have anything for somebody up front. Krista?
I didn't understand either, but I think what he means is they're not going to give it without a fight. He's going to make this a shootout. He doesn't have many laps, but he is going to try to pick off every race truck he can. I don't know if that's a good explanation, Michael, but it's an explanation, right?
Well, it's the heat of the battle. You know, you want to make sure you get all you can get, but there's only 2 laps left.
Yeah, and it's going to be a single file restart.
Yeah,
and if he's at the back,
he's going to be at the very back. But hey, that's what we would have done. We'd have come in and put 4 tires on, and if you can get 1 spot, 2, 3, 4, whatever you can get, because he's a competitor, and all those guys on that pit crew, Doug George and J.R. Norris, all those guys are competitors.
The interesting situation now in front of us. Kevin Harvick, team owner for the 33 of Ron Hornaday. To turn 3 and 4, we stay green, and now the caution comes out. That will mean Kevin Harvick will win at Martinsville. Kyle Busch climbing out of his truck, obviously disappointed, disgusted with the way this one ended.
So close to having victory.
I think he's mostly disappointed, I think, with the penalty.
Yeah, having when he was trying to just straighten the fender using the inside wall, and he did go across the commitment line, he's thinking, you know what, I wasn't pulling a fast one on anyone, but at the same time, the rule is the rule. You go across the commitment line, that means you are coming onto pit road. So Kyle Busch
just inside,
jogging away from the racetrack.
10 laps to go, he had victory in sight. Running away with a 17th place finish has got to be very, very disappointing.
Yeah, he's getting ready to cross over the racetrack and head on home. What a great job by Kyle and all his guys, and just a tough break. And you know, had it not been for that penalty, it would have been a good shot. He'd a good chance he'd have probably ended up this race in 2nd position. Certainly not if second, 3rd.
Well, Kyle Busch doesn't want to stick around for the celebration that Kevin Harvick will be experiencing on victory lane.